I'm going to give the format for the meeting and some of the uh, items that we'll be discussing today. So as Claudia said, this is our 48th international meeting for lung cancer screening. It's also our 16th conference on the early treatment of lung cancer, which Raja was going to talk about. You can see we have the logo where we're showing some of the different things that we cover when we talk about comprehensive screening. And I wanted to talk about that name because I know this has been a topic for a long time. And I think that how we came up with comprehensive and why we use that name, beyond incidental towards comprehensive. Why incidental, we think, is not the right term. And here are some of the reasons. It applies randomness or irrelevance. It suggests findings are unexpected and perhaps unimportant, and it minimizes clinical value of discoveries like CAC, emphysema, and osteoporosis, and may discourage symptomatic reporting. Opportunistic is the same idea. It implies accidental or lucky discovery, not systematic, and may trivialize clinical significance and risks undermining policy. So we've moved towards a strategic consideration of renaming this, shifting away from opportunistic. LDCT as comprehensive or even comprehensive health better reflects its impact. Now, we did have some fun trying to come up with other names for it, and we went to AI. And AI gave us some wonderful hybrid possibilities, which I think were pretty cool. So the idea of systemdipitous, systematic and serendipitous, fortunistic, fortunate and opportunistic. So we had a bunch. It was a lot of fun. Now we took a look back. This is our 48th conference already, and we've been doing this for a long time. So I wanted to see when we really started actually looking for other findings. It turned out that it was in our 11th conference that we first presented findings related to more systematic evaluations. And you can see here, the 11th conference was actually held in Rome, and it was actually within Vatican City that we had the conference. So there's a certain, and here was the session. It was extending the I-ELCAP screening beyond lung cancer. And Claudia moderated the session, and we did sort of the theoretical background for why it's important to do it. And the first talk from I-ELCAP was the CT screening by Joe Shemish. And this was in 2004. Our first publication on why adding coronary calcium was in 2006, where we published the need to routinely evaluate coronary calcium scoring. And then in 2010, these three articles came out in Radiology. One was by Matt Budoff, who many of you in the room know. He said when doing CAC scoring on heart scans that you should also be looking for osteoporosis. We said that when doing lung screening, you need to look at coronary calcium scores. And another one was saying just on routine scans, you should be looking at the aorta. These three led to the following. Sorry, this was actually the result that we showed, where we published that there was a difference in survival or long-term survival when you compared higher CAC scores on low-dose screening compared to the lower CAC scores. There was a survival difference. And those three articles led to this editorial, which I think was a very strong and very prescient editorial, What We Can and Cannot See Coming, by Lee and Foreman. And they made the point. They said, in this issue of Radiology, the idea of reporting all clinically relevant findings is taken to a new, exciting, and potentially more ambiguous level. In 3 separate studies, we discover that radiologists may be able to offer even more clinically relevant information that is based not on what we can see, but rather on what we cannot see, or at least at first glance. These reports suggest a change in the paradigm from merely reporting the image findings to taking an extra analytical post-processing step to create and report a numeric finding that may help to assess a patient's risk for cardiovascular disease and osteoporosis. And after this is in 2010. This is before we had the dreams of what AI was doing. But it's really exactly where we are now. If these reported methods hold true, it's uncertain when and for whom such post-processing and analyses should be performed and reported. Very important comment and very enlightened, because we're still struggling with that now. What do we report on all these findings? There are so many findings that can be made on these scans. Some we haven't even thought of the ethical implications of reporting what we're reporting. Some places in the world don't allow you to report these extra findings. You're forbidden to report them. So there's really quite a lot. This paradigm shift allows for a rich avenue of further research and development. Rather than shying away from this new responsibility, radiology leadership should embrace the possibility of adding a new dimension to our field. It's now 15 years later, and we're now, I think, really getting to knocking at the door for this. Now, I decided to take a look. I asked the AI, who's responsible for this comprehensive screening? Where did it all start? Because AI is the expert at doing this kind of research. And I thought that I wanted the I-ELCAP group, because we've been working with this for a long time, I wanted them to understand. So which group is responsible for transforming low-dose screening into comprehensive screening? And here's the AI answer. This is from Perplexity. Actually, ChatGPT gave an even stronger answer. It says the I-ELCAP leadership group is responsible for transforming low-dose screening into comprehensive screening. This transformation involves expanding LDC protocols beyond lung cancer detection to include screening for other conditions, risk factors, comorbidities that can be detected on CT scan, leveraging multidisciplinary expertise and research data integration from radiology, pulmonary, and oncology and preventive services, and more. So I think the I-ELCAP group deserves some recognition for all the work we've done. As I said, we've been doing this for our first time we started presenting was back in 2004. So it's a long time. Current conference, I want to thank the planning committee for this. Dr. Mulshine, Dr. Markowitz, Rosemarin Fliegenhart, and Pan Shir Yang, who unfortunately can't be with us today, and Rowena. These are the sessions. We're going to talk about long-term predictions. I think this is a very important topic. We're going to have some advances in technology, new directions and innovations. We'll have the small nodule profile, and we'll have a very enjoyable session, the teaching files, where we go over cases. On day 2, Friday, limited resources. We're really focusing a lot on comprehensive screening and limited resource countries. I think we have a lot of really great information to share, how to include other high-risk populations, and who to screen, when to screen. And we're going to have a very important panel discussion that I'm really looking forward to about the type of evidence needed for really making this happen. You know, we're doing a lot of incidental findings, comprehensive screening, but it's not taken off the way we all sort of dream it will. And we're going to have a discussion about that and see what's really needed to make that happen. And on day 3 is the surgical day, where we're talking about various options for early treatment and some of the findings we've made. Thursday night, everybody's free. New York is a fun place to be. I'm sure you'll all find wonderful places to go. On Friday night, Claudia is generously opening her house, and we're having a kind of an event there. We have the same jazz singer we had last year, Isabel Stein. I had several people who called to tell me they couldn't make the meeting, and they're really sorry they're going to miss Isabel. So I said, what about the meeting? It was no, Isabel got the higher reviews. I think, Mort, you're probably going to agree. But I do think we're really at that inflection point where we can make this comprehensive screening really take hold. And I think this meeting is going to really help to catalyze that. We are thinking about some new logos, and this is one that we're thinking about. This is was stimulated by the baobab tree, which is this tree of life, symbolizing strength, resilience, wisdom, and a connection between the physical and the spiritual world. So this is one possibility. Another possibility is the banyan tree as a symbol, because the banyan tree, with all the roots, it represents interconnectedness. It thrives through an intricate network of roots and trunks. Human health is sustained by the interconnectedness of the body. systems, relationships, and the environment. So I think these are fun ones to think about, and we'll figure out which one we ultimately adopt. I do want to thank our sponsors, um, AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers Squibb Foundation, Median Technology, Lilly, GE Healthcare, Siemens Healthineers, Tactile Medical, and Nanox. Without the sponsors, we really can't do this. And some way, shape, or form for the past 48 conferences, we've managed to get sponsors to sponsor us. So we're delighted that they continue to show this kind of support. During the meeting, we'll also be using Menti for audience participation questions. So, and those QR codes will come up. Did I leave anything out? Lunches are going to be held outside the same place we had the breakfast. There'll be lunch and breakfast each day, a box lunch on Saturday. The next 49th LCAP meeting, and combined with the third Agile, is going to be held in Gdansk on March 19th to the 21st. So I hope many of you can make it to that meeting. And that's it.